If you've been frustrated with how to articulate why you are different from your competitors and it's driving you nuts that people think you're the same as those other guys, I'm going to show you exactly how to differentiate yourself in the easiest, most effective way. Can't wait to show you. All right, tell me if this sounds familiar. You sit down and really try to differentiate yourself from your competitors. And you try to list all the things that you do that the other guys and gals aren't doing as well as you. And at the end of the day, it sounds a lot like the same stuff. We've got the best service, the best quality, the best blah, 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 right? Everyone says the exact same things. So it becomes really difficult for your clients to know why they should work with you over someone else. And then this is the other thing that's really fascinating. You don't necessarily want to put your greatest stuff, your secret sauce, on your website or your promotional materials, because there's a fear that your competitors are just saying, oh, I like the way they're positioning that. We're going to position ourselves the exact same way. So it gets really frustrating because you just don't know how to really get people to understand you're not like everyone else. So I want to share with you the fastest, most powerful way to get an entire group of people to hear you and go, you're the person I want to work with. To get clients, to get strategic partners, to get the right people in the right industry for you to go out of their way to choose you versus you having to do some dog and pony dance, some sing-song of trying to tell people why you deserve their business. And the key is strategically leveraging a public speaking engagement. So let me break down why this is so important. Most people, when they look at speaking, they think about just being on a stage. It's the wrong way to think about it. There's more virtual speaking engagements right now than ever before. According to Forbes, there's been 1,000% increase in the amount of virtual speaking engagements, and the virtual speaking world is going to grow from about $74 billion to about $774 billion over the next few years. There's a huge opportunity for you to educate your ideal clients, not just in person, but virtually. Now, I emphasize the word there, and this is really important. Educate. When you look at a really good speaking engagement, you want to be able to play two sides of the field at the same time. The first one is I want to impact my audience. I want to share something with them that's going to impact them, make them think differently. And at the exact same time, I want to impact people so that they realize I'm the best person to work with for whatever it is your business or service provides. This is a key dance because if you do a thinly veiled sales pitch, literally if you have an hour and you go up there and it's pretty much just a thinly veiled sales pitch, people are going to hate you. They're never going to invite you back. And you're going to feel concerned because you're going to be like, well, I wanted to turn this into a speaking opportunity, into business, so I just did a sales presentation, and then you get blackballed. It's the biggest fear, and you shouldn't do it. Don't try to just go up there and do a sales pitch. The key is to ask yourself some really important questions. One of those questions is, what perspective do I need my audience to change? Now, this is truly important. I want you to get this because most people overlook how powerful this is. The single most important aspect of a good presentation is a presentation that changes the perspective of their audience. It's not just about entertaining, though that's important. It's not just about giving information, though that's important. The key is that when my audience leaves my speaking engagement, they see the world fundamentally differently than when they first walked in, whether in person or virtual. So if you can shift the perspective, I'll give you an example. There was some events that I wanted to do for a group of schools, school districts a couple of years ago, and I love working with youth. It's one of my big passions in the world, and I built my career over giving back and helping an incredible amount of youth all over this country. And I wanted them to get that the single biggest thing that they can do is create the beginning of their year with a bang. Because there's tons of research and tons of study that I won't bore you with that shows someone's initial experience will dictate their frame for how they look at their ongoing experience. Simply put, if I have a good first impression everything else becomes way easier. So I spent the entire time sharing with them that the most important thing they could do for that upcoming school year is to create an incredible big bang experience for their students and for their staff, showing that this year is going to be totally different. So the perspective that I needed them to shift and get is that most people, they do like a little kind of like dinky, hey everyone, welcome back, let's get to work. But no, let's build this excitement the same way before a big sporting event happens. There's all this excitement to get people primed that they're about to have a great experience. We need to take that same philosophy and apply it into their school year, right? Real simple idea. So by the time the presentation was done, everyone was convinced that why you should create a big bang, a big start to your school year is super important, right? They were convinced on this idea. Now that their perspective is shifted, and again, there are some that probably already did that, good for them, but maybe they were thinking of ways they can go to the next level. And for people who never did it before, they're now convinced this is the great idea. We need to shift and do this really big start, but then the reality hits. They have no idea how to actually do it. Throughout the presentation, I do something called seeding, where it's never overt, but I'm dropping little jewels and hints and tips and tricks on how I have worked with these school districts to create that big bang first impression. So I'm giving examples and samples of what they could do, but showing how I was a part of that and did that for my clients. So what do you think naturally is going to happen at the end of that presentation if I did my job correctly? So if they get bought into this idea, oh man, I need to have this big bang, this big start, but I have no idea how to do it. They just saw me present on it and I gave examples on how I can do it. The natural thing they're going to decide for themselves is this is the guy we need to work with to make that happen for our school district. And I was able to get some really large contracts working with some incredible institutions all over the country without me ever once having to say, you need to book me and I'm the best presenter in the world and here's what I do and here's what I'm going to do for you and I have the greatest life. I never said that once. I demonstrated by marrying the perspective change I wanted my audience to have and then demonstrating why I am the best person in the possible universe to help them achieve that goal. So when you get really clear on what is the education you want to give to your potential audience and the ideas and perspectives that need to be shifted, and then you position yourself as the leader and the industry expert to help them do that, the natural conclusion your audience will make is you're the person that we need to work with and we don't want anyone else. Anyone else is an imitator, a less than a generic version of you. Hey, if you like that video, make sure you hit that like button before you go and hit the subscribe button so you can get more of our great content so it goes to the top of the algorithm. And if you head over to talkadot.com, not only will you get more in-depth resources there to help you with your speaking, but also you'll be able to get a free account for our amazing software tool that helps speakers like you pull leads from your speaking engagements, get data so you can actually have objectifiable information on why you're so good at what you do and how to use that data to book more speaking engagements. If you want to find out what Talkadot is, head over to talkadot.com. And remember, if you want to talk a lot, head over to Talkadot. See what I did there? Just go to the website. Trust me, it'll make more sense when you're there. I'll see you at the next video.